Hello and welcome to the VikingGenetics Australia webinar, in which we're going to discuss the new release sires and the highlights of the recent Sire Summary releases. We'll cover VikingJersey, VikingRed and VikingHolstein, and if time permits, we'll also have a discussion around the Viking Beef program as well. My name's Jim Bruce. I'm the Country Manager for VikingGenetics in Australia. Joining me in our Australian office just down the hallway is our Senior Breeding Advisor, Erik Thompson, who's responsible for assembling our Australian offering. Joining us from Sweden tonight is our VikingHolstein Product Manager, Hannah Driscoll, and from Denmark is our Viking Red Product Manager, Jacob Vågaard. There are participants registered from all the key regions of the Australian dairy industry, both farmers and our distributor partners, as well as a few from across the ditch in New Zealand. A very warm welcome to everybody. We hope that there's information here that you'll find useful in the upcoming season and beyond. We'll jump to the presentation if I can get it to go. Oop. There it is. So before we jump into the full presentation, what we'll do is we'll run through the rules of engagement for the event tonight. The webinar is being recorded and all participants will be emailed a copy after the event, and it'll also be available on demand from our website. All participants' microphones are muted, but we invite you to use the chat and the question functions for anything you'd like to highlight, anything we need to back up on. We'll monitor that questions tab, and if we need to pause and give greater explanation on something, please use that function and we'll try to answer you right away. We've reserved time at the end of the presentation to go through all of the questions. If we don't get to your question, I do apologise in advance. We are time limited, but we will follow up your question with an email response tomorrow. So those are the rules of engagement. I hope, as I say, you find it enlightening and entertaining. We'll now move into the presentation. Unfortunately, our product manager for VikingJersey, Mr. Peter Larsson, is unable to join us tonight. So I'll hand over to my Senior Breeding Advisor, the very able Erik Thompson, who will lead us through all that's new from VikingJersey. So over to you there, Erik.
All right, good evening. Thank you very much, Jim. Well, firstly, I'd like to start by talking about the jersey just a touch. The type of jersey we're looking for in Australia to bring to our shorelines is a jersey that's a little taller and has more strength. And we're also looking now to pick jerseys that are positive milk in Denmark, as well as components, but more so positive milk because they're an exceptionally high component breed. And even if a bull's got a negative deviation on the Scandic proofs, he'll be quite substantially positive component bull here in Australia. So that's what we're looking for. And of course, outcross, which they all will be anyway. They're good outcross opportunity for the breeders. And we're always looking for really good health traits because that's what we're known for. And then particularly Jersey 2, we're looking not only to take the size a bit bigger and stronger, in general terms, not always, but also focusing on good udders because we all want that. Now, our first bull, Hamlet, is available conventional and sexed, and he has come up with a very nice proof. He was genomic here as he started off as a younger sire. Now he's graduated to proven. And of course, he's A22 and BB. There, we're concentrating on as much as that we can put into our bulls from all the breeds as we can, because there's a lot of people require it. And interestingly, there's a lot more seeking out the BB as well as the A22. Of course, the BB, I think it can give you up to 10% more cheese from the same milk or something, and good quality cheese. So we're looking to select bulls that are going to give an all-round quality product. Now, Hamlet is a bit special in that he has a very good lactation persistence, and that's something that comes up in conversation a bit of late. And that means that he won't peak as high as a shorter persistence bull in early lactation, but he'll carry on deeper into late lactation, so that in early lactation, you're not getting a lot of pressure at the same time you're trying to get them in calf. So a high persistence bull will milk through later, higher in later lactation. So he's an excellent bull for that. 2.1 deviations on the Nordic system. And I must say the daughter fertility is absolutely fantastic as well. 2 deviations at 120, and his hoof health is very good. And just to finish him off, he's also very nice, very tidy udders as well. The second bull's Dandy. Now, this is a bull I've been watching a while because Dandy had, there again, really, really good strength. Not overly tall, but wonderful chest. And it's came to fruition in his proof now as a proven bull. And I've been watching him for some time. Now, his stature on the Nordic proofs is 109, body depth 109, and chest 114. So almost a deviation taller, but almost a deviation and a half more powerful through the chest. And I must say as well that he will add bone as well. When I see a negative on bone on a lot of bulls, that I like that in a lot of cases, because in our conditions we can do with some more bone on occasions. It's not all about having flat bones. A bit of robustness is what's required quite often. So he's the bull that adds grunt. Keep an eye out for him. He's now proven with over 291, nearly 300 daughters initially now in his proof. Udder health is very good. Fertility and temperament are also exceptional. Conventional and sexed, and he's the A22 BB once again. And just for interest's sake, he's 65% Danish, 31% USA, and 4% New Zealand. Durant is another young bull we've had as a genomic young bull, and he has also graduated. He has a couple of hundred daughters in his proof. And he's a quite exciting young bull too, because he's a deviation stronger on the Nordic proofs for milk. And he also lifts the components are about average on him, but he's a good milk bull. But there again, the average components are still very high. There again, he's 2 deviations taller and positive for chest and body depth as well, or above 100. For attachment is 116 and rear udder height is 113. So keep an eye out for this bull. Daughter fertility really strong as well, 113, and udder health 114. So that includes cell count and also mastitis treatments, which are recorded in that system. Conventional only, because we have stocks of him from when he was genomic, but the bull, I believe, is now dead. So we have the last stocks here, conventional semen. So be quick to look at Durant, A22 and BB again. Dan P. We're all looking for polled sires in all breeds. We have one now that I think is a lovely bull, heterozygous polled, 50% polled calves from horn cows, and of course higher than that if you already have a polled gene in your herd. It's just one less job we have to do, and if we get a bull that's good enough to warrant being in the team, we bring him out. I won't bring polled just for the sake of polled. They have to be a good bull, and this one is. There again, the bigger Jersey, exceptional udders, all udder health, all udder traits are positive. Really good mastitis resistance, and like I said, he's got the fancy udders to go with it as well. BB again, an A22, and just conventional at this stage is Dan P. Domino, I'll be pretty excited about this bull. He was a bull I was watching last year, but unfortunately he was a little bit too young to produce semen. So he's made it this year. There again, he's got the milk and components, which we're looking for. The larger frame, along with chest, he's 116 for stature, 111 for chest. Excellent udders, and the teat size is worth mentioning. 1.3 deviations longer and almost a deviation thicker. So front teats are well in, 1.1 deviations on the Nordic system as well. Now, I keep quoting the Nordic system because I go with very high reliability, which they are. That's something everyone needs to watch when you're looking at young bulls, genomic bulls. Have a look at the proofs from countries and have a look at the reliabilities. because I'd rather, if I had a heart problem, I'd rather go to a doctor that's giving me a 65–70% chance than a doctor that's giving me 15 or 20% chance. So check reliabilities, they are important. Conventional and sexed, so watch out for Domino. Casino, we found this bull a bit exciting as well. He's an A22 sire, not carrying the BB, but AB. Conventional and sexed available. He's from a Regency Casino dam, which I believe is a bull that's creating a little bit of a stir in the Jersey circles in Australia, very tidy animals. So we actually have a bull from a Regency Casino dam. Strong feet and legs as well as udders. Daughter fertility is a feature at 107. And udder health also is very strong on Casino. So conventional and sexed, make sure you check him out when our catalogue comes out. Jojo, Jersey bull from last year. Now, fortunately, we've got him sexed this year as well. We realise that the Jersey breed is moving very quickly towards dominance of sex semen. And Denmark is amazingly so. They'll probably within a couple of years there won't be much conventional used at all. It's sexed and then moving on with beef to utilise the those, you know, breeding from your good breeders and then improving the Jersey carcass for meat by following on with beef, which Jim might get to talk to a little bit later. But milk components, solids there again. Taller cows with great udders, free milking cows, and exceptionally calm disposition as well. So make sure you keep an eye out for this bull here. And so with that, that's the end of our Jersey part of the presentation. Thank you.
Well done, Erik. Thank you very much, mate. I will just reflect back, as you've pointed out, a number of these bulls. Jojo is available ex-Vic, where last year he wasn't. And I will highlight that across the whole range, particularly in Jersey, but throughout the Reds and the Holsteins, with our new size coming in this year, a much greater availability of sex-sorted semen across the team, just to give our customers that option. So we will move on from Jersey. Thanks again, Erik. And
Jim, we've just got a couple of questions. Do you want to have a go at them now or wait until the end? Just one about what is ex-Vic and how big the genomic program is.
Well, okay, we can do that quickly because we'll cover it a few times. So ex-Vic is the unique quality assured sex semen product offered by VikingGenetics. Our ability to manage all components of production, from bull management through semen production, sorting, freezing, and on to our co-op partners who manage consistent AI service and 56-day preg testing. We're able to adjust the sorting and processing of each ejaculate to manage consistent on-farm semen performance. So we're utilising the ST sorting machines and their technologies, but when combined with our end-to-end performance management, we actually promote it based on its in-field performance rather than the number of cells. So ex-Vic is sex-sorted semen, and we offer that as giving a conception rate 90% that of which you would have achieved with conventional semen, and in excess of 90% gender purity as well. So that's what ex-Vic is. That's our sex-sorted semen. The other question there is, this is one for you, I think, Erik. We're talking about jerseys here. How big is the genomic program behind VikingJerseys?
Well, Jersey's genomic program, I believe they test, I think 1,000 bulls a year are genomically tested. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, Jacob, seeing as Peter the specialist is not here. And then I believe they settle on 100 sires a year to use genomically. Is that correct? Well, I believe so it is. Yep. Anyway, so that's what it is.
The expert's not here, Erik, so you've got it.
Okay. So it's from a population of 70,000 cows. And that enables us to have reliabilities of around 77% for production, for health and reproduction around the 69%, and reliability for confirmation around that 62%, as well as workability functional traits.
Excellent.
So it's a strong program.
Terrific. Thank you for that. So we will head back into the presentation. Hopefully it's going to magically appear. We're going to now move to the Viking Reds, and I'd like to welcome our product manager for Viking Reds, Jacob Vogard. Jacob, if you would just spend a moment just to introduce your role within the program, and then we'll jump into the bulls.
Thank you very much, Jim. As you said, I'm product manager for VikingRed, working with the breeding program VikingRed that is working across the 3 countries, Denmark, Sweden, and Finland, where we are selecting red sires across the 3 countries in one big population on around 175,000 cows. So a quite large population with a large variation. So we at the same time can pick many different profiles fitting different markets, also bulls fitting the Australian market excellent.
Terrific.
I manage the program and the bull we have in the production part of it according to get semen out to all our customers around the world.
Excellent, Jacob. So we'll jump into a couple of bulls that we want you specifically to talk about. These are proven bulls, and so our customers who have joined us tonight will benefit from your experience in seeing those daughters in the field. So I'll hand it over to you on throw up.
Thank you very much, Jim. And I said you gave me a very easy task with these 2 bulls here. The first one is a Frørup, excellent, outstanding, proven sire in our system. Also do it great in Australia. He is giving very high productive daughters with a high amount of fat and protein in the milk, good components, and this is together with a very good persistence. So what we see with his daughter is they having a good production over the entire lactation. So they start good out and you think, whoa, that's a good cow and she's giving good at the same time. And then they just keep on. They just keep on and on and on for the lactation with production. We see that. And what's even, I think it's better, what's really impressing me is that they just, when they go from first to second to third lactation, they just get better and better in production all the time, improving, impressing all the time. So he's just being better. The daughter is just getting better all the time. But this high production, it's come together with a superior health profile, with a super udder health that is very, very good, and it's impressive. It's together with this good production and a very high milking speed. But he also give a good health profile in other diseases, so ketosis and so on. And he also have a very good claw health. His daughter is giving a good claw health, so they can handle grazing very good. They can walk long, so he's very outstanding for the grazing also, according to his health profile. The daughter on top of this is getting good capacity. They're getting a very, very powerful frame. So if you have daughters missing capacity, missing power in the body, Frørup is excellent choice of them because they will be larger. They will have bigger chest width. They will have bigger body depth. So they will have some capacity. Just mention here, the dam is still milking. She's in 6th lactation. She's been milking more than 80,000 kilos of milk and more than 6,700 kilos of dry matter. So a very high production with some good components over close to 7 years. And she was classified in 3rd lactation with 84 in total. So also a good looking cow and good producing at the same time. So an excellent proven sire, and I'm really looking forward to see more of his daughters. If we move on to the next one, we have Fanoff P, our absolutely best proven pawled sire, also A2. So half of his offspring will be pawled, and he also give the A2 gene next in, which is absolutely great. Fanoff also give daughters with a very high production, but what's also interesting is that he's giving them a very good metabolic feed efficiency. She's one of the best one we are having from our new system and our new indexes. And with the indexes we have, it's the only red breed in the world that have a feed efficiency index So I'm very proud of that. And Fanoff is doing very well on that. The daughters also have a good fertility on top of this. And they will also get a very, very good body strength. They are dairy strengths and a tremendous body depth into it. He's coming up in his BPI, and we're sure it's going to improve more when we're getting more data in from him. We're still missing the last data coming in. So that is excellent on it. On top of that, he can also be used on heifers. Just a quick look on also into his dam. She was madam milking for 5 years and milked over 50,000 kilos. What probably ended her days was that she had to move from the herd because it was ending, and moving a 5th lactation cow is not always working absolutely perfect. But she was also a very good cow, classified 86 in total. And Fanoff was the first red bull selling more than 100,000 doses genomically. So a very good sire already before he became proven, and he showed that he is an outstanding bull.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jacob. That's a great summary on those 2 proven bulls. So now we'll hand over to Erik, who's actually going to take us through some of the younger bulls that we've brought into the program for this year. I appreciate your input there, Jacob. I also appreciate your family holding off the family holiday in order to join us tonight. Over to you, Erik. You can start off with Babus, one of the new bulls coming through this year.
All right. Thank you, Jim, and thanks for the kickstart, Jacob. Very good. And I just would like to add a little bit on Fanoff's BPI. There's been trouble with data coming across, although there's daughters calving here in Australia as well, but there's trouble getting the classification daughters across into our data set at the minute. So, but that will be rectified in time for his August proof, I guess. So look out for that. Now, Babus P. So there again, we're looking for nice polled bulls, as we said, for animal welfare reasons and to save people work on their farms. Now, with Babus P, he's a bull that I really liked him because he's not such a high NTM bull. He's got a handy BPI, and considering that the portion of the Australian Red BPI, it's based on production and cell count. It's a shallow genomic red program here, and a lot of because our parents of our genomic size are in Scandinavia, we miss out a little bit there in the data coming across, but nevertheless still a good BPI. Now he's got great chest and body capacity. His stature's 103, his body depth 112, and chest 111. So substantially, I always look at the stature in relation to chest and body. You can have a bull that might be 125 or 30 for stature, and if his chest's only 105, well, in my opinion, that's still a tall, narrow animal. But when you get an animal that's 103 for stature and 112 for body depth and 111 for chest, I'm suggesting there's a bit of power there. And that's where you get your dairy strength, and as long as the dairy form is not overly high as well. If there's a dairy form of 120, well, then he'd be very flat bone and quite frail. So keep that in mind for strength. Look at your stature, look at for your chest and body. If it's above your stature, you're on the path if you're looking for some strength. Great milking speed and temperament, this bull. 2 deviations for speed and 1 for temperament, which is really nice. And very tidy udders. Rear teats are out a little bit at 99. Front in 109. Length 107 and thickness 108. Conventional and sexed, as you can see. And he carries the beta casein A22. The next one, Julian P. So to follow on from Babus, we've got a higher NTM sire with Julian, and that's because he's a higher production bull. He's got the milk and he's got components, but higher milk than Babus, and not as much strength as Babus. Stature is round average at 99, chest 100, which is a good dairy form 114. So a little bit flatter boned here, a little bit more flat through the bone and the hot quality. So when you have an animals that have got, you know, some strength and they're looking for a bit of, there's no use breeding for strength all the time either. You all realise that. You have to balance it out, and Julian would be a great bull to balance that out, to keep the dairiness in there. And, you know, I guess if you keep breeding strength, you'll end up milking Angus. So it's a balancing act, and you have to use your bulls wisely. As I said, A22, high production, you'll get 50% polled from horn cows, the great milking speed of 129, and he's suitable for maiden heifers. He's got a nice calving ease index. So Julian P is a bull you need to look out for, conventional and sexed. Hackvin. Hackvin has very high daughter fertility. Now, it's worth noting that with the daughter fertility on the Reds, I'm quite happy to bring out bulls, or we're quite happy to bring out bulls if they're just around 100 or even a touch below on Reds for daughter fertility, because they're a very healthy breed. And if I was to swing a Red bull that was only 100 for daughter fertility straight into the Holstein base, it'd be about 115. So the Reds are already healthy. We need to focus on not just fertility on Reds. We take it when it's there, yippee. But let's look for other things that we can improve the Reds on, like rear udder height and width, which we've been concentrating on now the last few years with our genomic team. So there again, you've got a very high daughter fertility with this sire at 114. He's got the extra dairiness as well, quite angular, strong udders. Again, suitable for maiden heifers. He's A22. And he was a very strong selling bull in the Viking Red market in 21 for the Nordic home market. So a very popular bull, and we get to utilise him this year. So I'm very happy about that. Opera. I love this bull. I don't know. There's just something about it. I love the colour. You might all think that's stupid, and it probably is, but I just think he's nice to look at. He's just a nice smooth bull, lovely body, beautiful head, lovely muzzle, big clean open eye. I really do like this bull. Another A22 bull, available conventional and sexed. And by the way, all of these bulls are suitable to use as outcross from the traditional old Foskey and Tokyo lines. So very safe indeed. You don't have to worry about that. He's got milk components and solids. He's one that is super for his rear udder and rear udder width, height and width, 2.5 deviations for width. So he'll really put some capacity in the rear of red cows' udders. So that's one that should be utilised a lot. And he's also got nice feet and legs. And there again is more of a bull to put some dairiness in. Like he'd be great over Tokyos or Foskies even, or Viljas, those sort of matings. So a very nice bull in Opera. Abin. Now, Abin, another really highly ranked sire, NTM 30. There again, really good production. He's got the milk and components again. Excellent overall health and performance, as he has no negatives in his health profile. I must say I do love the dark red. Being an old Illawarra breeder from many years ago, I do like that dark cherry red. Love the dark red and the white. Quality fore and rear udder attachments on this bull as well. Fore udder 1.8 deviations and rear udder height 1.3 on the Nordic system. And calving ease for maiden heifers as well. Conventional and sexed, A22, just another super young bull. So you can go ahead and use these bulls with confidence. Now, while I've got a little bit of time, I'm just going to tell you, because it's only 6 minutes and I've got a little bit more, the genomics. Red genomics have worked exceptionally well in Australia. Some people were saying, oh, what are we going to do when Foskey's gone or when Tokyo's gone? Well, you know what? You don't have to worry about that, because we've got genomics, and I've proven it. I did a sire evaluation on the Australian December proofs, and I looked at proven Reds we'd imported into Australia from when we started Viking here 10, 12 years ago versus the genomic bulls that were coming at the same time. Now, we had 20 bulls that came to Australia as proven status, and they have an average BPI in December of 139. So that's including all bulls and, you know, whatever we've got an Australian proof on. And then we had 24 red genomic bulls that went through the system, and they have an average BPI of 202. So don't be afraid of genomics, folks. They work exceptionally well. Use them as a team. and you will have success. And it follows exactly the same pattern as it does in Scandinavia. They're about a third better than proven bulls used as a team. So that's the red presentation from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Erik. Well done again, mate. I will highlight again the availability of outcross pedigrees, ex-fix semen, and of course, plenty of calving ease options for the heifer program. So great presentation. Thanks, Erik, and a great thanks to Jacob as well. So we'll move now into the Holsteins, and we'd like to welcome to the program this evening Hannah Driscoll, who is our product manager for VikingHolstein. So Hannah, if you'd like to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about the role, and then we'll get the slides up and you can kick off with a couple of high NTM Holstein bulls.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Hannah Driscoll, and I'm product manager for VikingHolstein. And I'm managing the breeding program for the Holsteins in the Nordic countries. And in total, we have around 570,000 Holstein dairy cows in our 3 countries. And we test 2,800 bull calves every year. And among them, we purchase bulls with profiles to suit our home market and our different export markets around the world. And the goal is, of course, to have variation. And we have a lot of focus on poll genetics and try to find bulls that fit to all the different our different markets.
Excellent. Well, we'll get these slides up, and we'll get you to lead off with not the Red Bull. That's the wrong colour. That's better. I didn't want to lead you astray there. So we'll start off with Swish. The first 2 bulls that Hannah will present here are bulls that are right at the top on the NTM system and quite different. So we'd really appreciate your insight into how these bulls come to the program and what they're offering. Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you. First up is Swish, and he is a genomic bull, and he's our #1 Viking Holstein at the moment. He has an NTM at +44, and yeah, that's the highest NTM bull that we have got in our portfolio at the moment. And he is one of our top-selling bulls in the home market. He has a very high overall yield index, and he's superior when it comes to solid. His index for fat is 3 deviations above average, and for protein, it's 4 standard deviations above average. So he will give you daughters that produce many kilos of fat and protein. He has also an overall excellent health profile and transmits very good fertility, very good udder health, general health, and hoof health. And he has also positive indices for saved feed and give you more feed efficient cows with good metabolic efficiency. His daughters will have strength in their body and their rump, and they are expected to be medium-sized. And average stature for Holstein in the Nordic countries is around 150 centimeters. And at the same time, Swish gives cows with a lot of width to the chest and good body depth. With a strong top line and good rump as well. So strong cows overall. He also transmits correct feet and legs and well-balanced udders with strong fore-udder attachment, strong udder cleft, and good teeth size. And his daughters are expected to have a good longevity and a very nice temperament. So very easy to handle cows and nice to work with. He is A2A2 and BB as well. And the dam of Swish is a Nerd RC cow, and she has produced for 1.6 years with an average production of 9,800 kilos of milk, with very, very high solids, 5.28% fat and 3.87% protein. And she's also classified 83. Just to sum up, if your goal is to improve the level of solids in the milk, and if you want to get more healthy and stronger cows, Swish is a very, very good option for you. He will give you a very nice combination of both production, health, and strong conformation.
Excellent. So he is just a quick comment from me as we move to the next bull there, Hannah. He's available ex-Vic and conventional. He's available in stock right now in Australia, and I'd point out that this is the highest NTM bull available in the program. And I make the point because this is very young. People may have thought in the past that it takes a while for the co-ops to let us have access to the high-end bulls, but here it is right now. He's a 2020 born bull. He's the highest NTM bull you've got. We've got him available Sexton conventional. Doesn't get any better than that. It's clear that Viking is keen to support the Australian program, so I endorse the bull to Australian breeders. We'll move on to your next one, Hannah.
Yes. And the next one is Sly Prc. He is also a genomic top bull from Solitaire P Red and an ABS yo-yo cow. And he is homozygous polled, and he will give you 100% polled calves. And after the April index round, he's now at NTM 31. He is a super production bull, and his index for kilos of milk is 120. So it's two standard deviations above average. And if you use him on we would use him on an average cow in our Nordic system, which produce 11,300 kilos of milk, we can expect that the heifer in the next generation produce 670 kilos more than her dam. So he's a very, very nice production bull. And the daughters from Sly will also produce with good persistency throughout the lactation. Daughters from Sly are expected to be wide in their chests without being too tall. His chest width is greater than his stature. And the daughters are also expected to have a good body depth. The daughters will have good feet and legs and nicely balanced udder with good foreudder attachment and good strong udder cleft and nice rear udders. He has an excellent fertility at index at 112, and he also helps to improve udder health and gives easy calvings. And the dam of VH Sly is a German cow, and she has just calved for the second time. And for the first milk recording test, she produced over 50 kilos of milk. A very good cow. And as I mentioned, he is homozygous polled and A2A2 and BB. And the RC in his name, it means that he is a red factor bull, so he is a carrier of red coat color, but he's black himself, as we can see in the picture. So just if you would like to improve your production and get more polled calves, and if you want to improve the fertility in your herd, VH Sly is a very good choice.
Fantastic, Hannah. Thank you again, joining us all the way from Sweden. Now, we'll continue with our Holstein section here, but we'll get Erik to take over again. We're now going to move into some bulls that feature quite well in the Australian evaluation. So we'll throw it over to Erik and follow on with the Holsteins again.
Okay, thank you, Hannah and Jim. Very nice information there, Hannah. Now, we, of course, Hannah presented the NTM bulls, and, you know, we do believe in that in the system, but we also respect our Australian system, and we're looking as much as we can to get Holsteins that tick the box on BPI as well as NTM. We will not bring a bull out if he's got a low NTM and a high BPI because, well, I trust the data on NTM solidly, so they need to be very well-regarded sires in both. And this is what we've done. And this is our first one, Scottley, who's a polled sire. Available conventional and sexed, as you can see, and he's an A22 and a BB as well. Now, I think I need to say generally what we look for. So we look to bring high BPI sires if we can get them, high NTM bulls, but we also look for the sires in the Holstein job, pretty much that provide a medium statured cow with strong chest and body scores in relation to their stature. Now, that's the general middle of the bulls we look for, I suppose, but then we have the outliers too, ones that will be, you know, substantially shorter, and then ones that are going to be a bit taller. But we believe that that's the sort of Holstein that most people are looking for. If you've got that sort of a strength and build of a Holstein, and she'll give you a heap of milk and is very healthy, I think most black and white breeders out there are going to be very happy, and that's what we're looking for. So Scovely's going to give you strong udder conformation. He also has nice high daughter fertility. I believe 113 in both indexes. High production, that's his ABV production there, 32 kilos of fat and protein. And he's an outcross pedigree and a high BPI polled package A22. So really like Scovely, and I think he's a bull that so many Holstein breeders here could utilise. Heat PP, we're going with him again. We went with Heat PP in 2021 because you will get 100% pole genes. Now, he's still got a very good BPI. He was 440 odd last year and he's still 427. So he's holding up really well. Very high daughter fertility for a full polled Holstein here. He's on his ABV at 115. So he really needs to be looked at. And in this day and age of everyone wanting to drop rump height and all that sort of thing, some people are looking for a nice high rear udder. It's harder to get when you drop pins to get a higher rear udder. So Heat has that. His rear udder height is over 2 deviations on our system, and it's high in Australia as well. So look out for him. A22, BB, fully polled, high daughter fertility and good production in Australia too. I think he's around 500 litres plus for Australia with good kilos of fat and protein. So he's a very, very worthy fully polled Holstein. Now, Ascari's pretty special, folks. He is the Holstein that is got a super high BPI of 521. He also has a very good NTM. Top 10 bull in both indexes, I think, on BPI now. If he's around that 10 or 11 on BPI, but he's number 3 or 4, I think, on HWI. They've been bouncing around a bit the last few days, but he's an elite sire, very much in the very cream. These other bulls that we're presenting you with BPIs around the 450, 60, they're still in the top 1% of BPI size, 1%. So, you know, this bull's in the top 0.01%. So watch out for him. He's very popular. He's a high production bull. He's got 30 kilos for fat and 28 for protein. So it's a very good 444 litres and positive components to boot with it. Now, short gestation, this is a thing a lot of people are talking about too, and great calving ease. So we've got that, and we're getting reports of calves being born quite a few days from the average. I've had a ring from a few farmers that have been a bit cranky because their holiday's been cut short. get home because the Ascari calves are popping out. So that's good news, really. Just make sure you got someone at home while you're on holidays to bring the calves home. As I said, very high daughter fertility, 118. Moderate stature with good strength. I kind of like him because he's 102 on BPIs for stature, 103 for chest, and 101 for muzzle width. So just a really, really nice balanced bull that it'll be hard to go past this bull. Available conventional and sexed. And as I said, I think A22 and BB. Nader. We got some pretty pictures here for you with Nader as well. We don't tend to have many cow pictures these days with the rush of genomics. But Nader's another good NTM BPI bull in the top 1%, BB, A22, conventional and sexed. Really, really good calving. He's ABV at 105. And he's a super calving ease bull on the NTM as well. I really love it when the bulls work the same on both indexes, which he has for many, many points. Overall type, he is 102, memory 104. So a hard bull to go past again. Really nicely attached udders, and he's just got it all. This bull, he's elite for health, type, and production. He's kind of got it all, and I just love the fact he's a real black silky bull. I love both these cows. It's an example of strength, as I said, in dairy strength. That cow at the bottom of the Grand Dam's got what I call dairy strength. Note the muzzle and the eye on that cow, and the good clean neck and the spring of rib and the long from hip to pin. That is a lovely cow with dairy strength. Whereas the dam of Nader is stronger again, not as dairy strength, but she's what we would call a more coarse, I suppose. But I still really like that because it's a very robust animal. But that's what I'm hinting at before. Just balance your breeding. There's no way you'd go and put a super strength sire again on top of that dam of Nader. To me, she's pretty much ideal, whereas the Grand Dam is the traditional real dairy cow, and she could do with a touch more. So just a few little comments I wanted to add to that on Nader. A22 and BB, great opportunities there. Klim, a bull again, come up on BPI, has a nice NTM, conventional only at this stage. Longer teats and wider rear placement. Great stature to body ratios when you look at these. Stature 99, muzzle 104, body depth 101, chest 102. Kind of like that. He's a feet and legs improver on the ABV 108 and really good production with 55 kilos fat plus protein on ABV. And as you can see, great components. Improves health in udders, hooves, and general health. That general health index, if you get a chance and everyone understand it, contact me and I can break it open for you on the Navision and you can see what's in that. There's metabolic disorders, ovary health. That general health covers when bulls have cysts on the ovaries and you have poorer fertility. Some bulls just have higher incidences of cysts on the ovary. So it's all very interesting and there's a lot you can learn if you want to put the time into it. So that's Klim, folks. The next one. Barford. Oh, Barford. We had him last year, a super, super health-weighted bull and a very good BPI bull and a very good NTM bull. He's a little bit ahead of his time, poor old Barford. He's a feed-saved bull. Now, a lot of people actually laugh at this index, but I think in years to come, there won't be a lot of laughing going on because we're all looking at ways to make extra money without having to do any extra work. And if you can have a bull that leaves you animals that by eating less feed are going to still increase your production, I guess there's money to be made there. So it's something we need to think about. He's elite in this index in the Australian and the Nordic system, 158 and 125. He's standalone. There's nothing of those health-weighted BPI and NTM scores that come near the likes of Barford. So you should look at him. Couple that with the stature 91, so he's going to bring that down. Muzzle, chest, body, they're all 91 or greater, so that's all in relation to his stature, which is great. So there again, those scores higher than his stature. Elite daughter fertility and elite teat placement. So you got length, which is a problem in the modern Holstein. He's longer, 102, rare placement 90. That's excellent, and front teats in 106. You need bulls like that, and that's it for me. Watch out and get ahead of the game.
Well done, Erik. And yes, I think you're quite right. Barford is a different bull, and it's going to be the innovative breeders that capture the Viking innovative breeding approach with Barford to capture that efficiency and team that with the fertility and the change in body type and stature. Now, I encourage everybody that if I'm sure there's questions out there if Erik or Hannah or Jacob have said something that you just has sparked a thought and you'd like to ask a question, please use the questions tab and drop those questions in. We'll try to get to them. But while you're all putting your questions in madly, hopefully, before we get to those, I'll just quickly look at our beef program, and I'll run through that very, very quickly. We last year introduced Danish blue semen into our offering. With the increase in sexed semen for dairy, obviously there's an opportunity for people to look at what beef product is out there. We actually followed the lead that we'd seen demonstrated very, very well by our distributor in New Zealand, Semen NZ, where they're focusing on the short gestation opportunity that Danish blue, they're all just colours of the rainbow, Danish blue offers. And so what we have is, on average, your Holstein is a 280-day gestation length, longer for the Reds by a few days, and the Jerseys as well. And what we could see was quite often it was the second or third insemination that people were using beef, and you've got cows that have calved late or cows that are just getting later, in subsequent lactations, and it didn't make any sense to be using beef breeds that were even longer on gestation length, which pushed them later and later again. Now, a gestation length on VB Nito here of 278, it's not going to rescue a cow who's gotten really, really late. It's not going to suddenly make her so much shorter in gestation that she's going to be back in that breeding window. However, if we're using bulls and we're putting focus on that gestation length, we can take advantage of the opportunity that differentiation in your program with a beef enterprise can offer. And maintain a gestation length that keeps the cows productive. Every day earlier that you can get those cows to calve is more milk, more days in production. And whilst lots of different beef programs might suggest that there are premiums on their product, the best premium I can see for a dairy farmer is more days in milk. It's money in the pocket within the first month of this calf's life. What we can then achieve from their incredible yield and their good growth performance is a bonus, but you get your initial premium, if you like, from extra days in milk. So these have been exceptionally successful in New Zealand. Nitto, in fact, I'll quote our distributor, could be as good as any bull they've used, and they're using tens of thousands of units every year. The calves have great vitality and they're great drinkers, and they get up and go. These white bulls will colour mark the progeny, so you can see some of those calves there in the photograph, just a typical coat that you'll get. It doesn't necessarily mean you get more money, but they're attractive, and it's always nice to have them looking good. The calving ease on a Danish blue is superior to what you'd ever have imagined from the old Belgian blues we used to get. The difference with Danish blues, other than their postcode, is that in the Danish breeding program, anything that's born by caesarean is not permitted to stay within the herd book and the breeding program. And so they've managed to couple the short gestation with excellent and repeatable and reliable calving ease. So we've got that semen available. The first calves are hitting the ground. From Nitto in New Zealand, we've had the reports of calves as early as 11 days early, but on average, they're saying it's around about 5 days in that Kiwi system at the moment. So it's a different option. It's backed with really good science, a really good evaluation system, similar to what we have on our Reds, Jerseys and Holsteins coming out of the Nordic countries. So, folks, at the moment, we haven't got any further questions coming. There's still plenty of people online, and we really thank you all for your participation. I'd like to come back and thank once again Hannah Driscoll sitting in Sweden, Jacob Valgaard sitting in Denmark. Jacob, are you trying to ask me a question there, my friend?
No, I'm just saying that in the chat we have a question I would like to answer on.
Do we have it? Have we got a question in the chat? We're supposed to have chat in the chat and questions in the questions.
That's sometimes what's happening.
Okay. So let me just put that question out there for those who haven't seen it. The question is that some say we should be using the Norwegian Reds to bring some more PP bulls, some more pole bulls into the Viking program. And Jacob, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Genetics take a long time, and if we're looking on baldness, it is a newer trait that we have been working with. A newer meaning that we've been looking very much into it the last 10 years. We have been working a little bit with for a longer time, but for about 10 years ago, we started to put it a little bit more, and over the last 3 or 4 years, many countries have pushed a lot on the pole genes. In the red one, we tried very much in Viking Red to spread on different pedigrees. And for us, it was very important to start to have a lot of single Ps to spread out on pedigrees, so we're not getting inbreeding. Because if we was crossing the port line too early, we would focus all the pond lines in the same line, and then we would lose the variety. We would lose the future progress in fertility, in production, and so on, just to get them polled. So we try to keep it open as long as possible to get very many different polled heterozygotic lines, and then later cross them in. And we start to do that now. So we have 3 homozygotic polled bulls born in 2021. We have already now 1 in 2022. So we slowly start to getting them in our program. What we do with the Norwegian genetic, because yes, we are using it, we try to taking some polled genes in from them to cross in into our own system to get more polled lines into it. But we also have the difference that it's, according to the last interval, we have more than 11 index units NTM between the 2 lines on the proven sires. So on NTM, we need to be a little careful to pick up the Norwegian one, because yes, we will get in the pole gene, but we will lose a lot in NTM. So that's why when we take them in, they sometimes take a little bit longer. An example is we just bought a bull that have Unstat P as a maternal grandsire. So it's take a little bit time to get it into us and to use it, the Norwegian. So that's why it's taking a little bit time to make them, but don't worry, they will come and they will be excellent on NTM and many of the other traits. So we are looking very much forward the next couple of years to present a lot of great PP bulls.
Thanks, Jacob. That's terrific. Now, there's another question come in, just talking about negative udder traits in the Australian system on a number of our bulls, and just asking for us to make, excuse me, to make a comment. And Erik, you might be able to help me out here. I'm not sure if it's a particular breed that this gentleman is asking about, but that being said, as we go forward, we have worked very, very hard over, in particular, the last couple of years to try and get a better representation of our cattle in the Australian system. And as you can see, particularly in the Holsteins, we now have quite a few bulls that are ranking very well on BPI. One of the biggest challenges has been getting the type traits to come across. And it does, just simply a little bit to Jacob's point, it does take a little bit of time, particularly with the type traits, trying to collect enough data so that the DataVat system can, if you like, make a more adventurous prediction and not be as conservative. It's about getting more and more phenotypes. So we've filled the system with as many genotypes as we can, and now we're pursuing more phenotypes to take out some of that hesitation that the system has. So I guess the answer is that, as has happened with our production traits, the the prediction from DataVat is getting more and more akin to what we expected from the cattle. The prediction on other traits is coming forward. We're getting better with jerseys as well, and in particular, type traits there are a little bit of a challenge because it's harder to get the data. We're on a steep trajectory in improving how we appear in DataVat, but I guess the easiest way to say it, the cattle are fine. It's just making sure the data reflects that, and that's a task that we're working on quite diligently at the moment. Anything to add on that one, Erik?
Yes, I would. Am I live?
You are. You
am.
are live.
I think because the question wasn't breed specific, but it probably would pertain more to the Jersey, I think. And I think the answer there is we haven't had a lot of jerseys go through the Australian system yet, as far as classifications or production for that matter. So therefore, if I take Domino, for example, I've just brought him up now. So his reliability on our NTM is 75% for production. Australia's only 54%. Health on NTM 67%, 22% in Australia. And confirmation is where the question's heading to. 61% reliable on NTM, 22% on BPI. Now, when you get such low reliabilities, they're not going to slap on a good score because they don't want to be, you don't want to look red-faced. So, you know, it's our job to get those reliabilities up here in Australia, getting more animals in the system, getting more classifications done so we can get the reliability up and get those scores to where they should be.
Yep, that's put it very, very well, Erik, and demonstrate with the data, with the accuracies there. Yes, Terry, the numbers are a little low, but the accuracies are a lot lower, and you do need to put your faith where the accuracy is. I hope that is a good response to your question. I really appreciate your question. We've got through the questions. We've got a few comments coming by, which is terrific, and we'll respond to anyone that has questions that come in a little later, where we will certainly respond via email. You will receive a follow-up email for all participants after the conclusion. It might be tomorrow, but after the conclusion of the webinar, you will get a follow-up email, and there'll be an opportunity to view the recording. I think you'll also be able to access a copy of the presentation if you're interested in looking at some of the slides again. That will be the follow-up. We are really grateful for those who have joined far and wide. We do have one more comment come up there. Foskey is an amazing sire in grazing systems in Australia. How do we select more sires like him in Reds? It's easy. We start with thrower up. There's Fanoff P. Sorry, Jacob, I'm answering your question, mate. But are we on the right track, Jacob? I think you're on mute, Jacob. That's better.
Yes, I think we are on the right track, but we also need to be aware when we have a mastodon, a breeding mastodon Difischke that have been over so many years, nearly generations, produce excellent cows year after year after year. It's very hard to find a bull that can outperform him, but I'm sure we will find it. And we see that in all breeds. We sometimes have a bull, it's just like he's jumping ahead of the other. He's nearly jumping a generation in front of everybody, and Fischke was one of them that did it excellent. So we are searching and we're looking to find the new Fischke, and I'm sure it will come. Just have patience, and I'll do all what I can do to make a new Fischke or two.
When he does rear his head and he does come to light, it'll be right here at Viking. So thanks for that question, Mike. Good on you for your participation. So we'll round it up. We've gone beyond our time, and again, you will receive an email as follow-up. We're very grateful for your participation wherever you are in Australia or New Zealand. I offer another vote of thanks to Jacob and Hannah for joining us and bringing their perspective from Scandinavia. And once again, thank you to my learned colleague, Erik Thompson, for all of his wisdom and in presenting the new team for this year. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll call it a night. As is always the case at Viking Genetics, if there's ever a question that you might have, we're available on the telephone, on email, via the website, smoke signal or carrier pigeon. Any way you want to reach out to us, we're more than happy to answer your questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, thank you very much and have a good evening.